Hello, my name is Benjamin Hart. I'm an American attorney and the managing director of Integrity Legal here in Bangkok, Thailand. As the title of this video suggests, we're going to be discussing U.S. visa applications, specifically some recent developments with respect to social media and how social media will interact, or the possession of social media accounts will interact with visa applications in the future. So from a recent article on the blog papersplease.org, the title of the article, State Department proposes more surveillance of social media, communications, and travel. Quoting directly, today the U.S. Department of State published proposals in the Federal Register to expand on ongoing surveillance of social media, email, and travel by applicants for immigrant and non-immigrant tourism or other temporary visas. So now they're quoting directly from this proposal in the Federal Register. The department is revising the collection to add several additional questions for visa applicants. One question lists multiple social media platforms and requires the applicant to provide any identifiers used by applicants for those platforms during the 5 years preceding the date of application. The platforms listed may be updated by the department by adding or removing platforms. Other questions seek 5 years of previously used telephone numbers, email addresses, as well as international travel. Now, international travel questions have been around for some time. In most of the Department of State forms, you will see questions pertaining to whether or not the applicant has lived or traveled to various other countries. But the addition of these requests for social media accounts, this is a major development and could result in longer processing times, as well as more complexity with respect to the application process itself. I recommend those who are watching this video, again, it's papersplease.org. The title is State Department Proposes More Surveillance of Social Media, Communications, and Travel. They actually put up the proposed form on that blog, and it's interesting because they've got things like Google+, Instagram, LinkedIn, MySpace, Qzone, Reddit, Tumblr, Twitter, Vine, YouTube. They've got these all noted with checkboxes next to them which say yes or no. And then after the checkbox, they say social media identifier. So they're asking, or at least it seems that they're proposing, that applicants for U.S. visas visas to the United States be asked about their social media presence, sort of their digital footprint, for lack of a better term, and provide the identifiers to find all of their accounts online as part of the adjudication of the visa process. Now, how this is ultimately going to play out, how integral this is going to be to the immigration process remains to be seen. But I think it's substantial, it's noteworthy, it's going to have an impact on the overall process. How it's going to impact the overall process somewhat remains to be seen, but I think it's going to be very interesting moving forward to see just exactly how adjudicators for visa benefits will take these issues into consideration, whether they're going to go to these sites and monitor these folks prior to the visa interview, or scrutinize them and scrutinize their history. That remains to be seen. Let me be clear. I can see some rather valid applications for this. For example, if someone is applying for visa benefits as fiance to an American citizen, and they give their Facebook post, and there are multiple photos from the 3 weeks prior to the visa interview of the visa applicant with some person that appears to be other than their fiance, their designated fiance, and they're engaged, let's say, in sort of romantic poses or something of that nature. Under those circumstances, I think that, yeah, the consular officer might be warranted in going ahead and placing either further scrutiny on that case, requesting further documentation pertaining to perhaps who that other person is, pertaining to the relationship between the American and their fiance abroad, or perhaps under rather extreme circumstances, maybe under that hypothetical, issuing a denial of the visa application based on the notion that that consular officer thinks that the whole relationship may be a sham, or may not be a sham on the part of both parties, but may simply be a sham on the part of the foreign national who's seeking the visa to the United States. this is a hypothetical scenario, but what I'm saying is I can see applications for using this information that would be of sort of an investigative or adjudicatory nature on the part of the consular officer. So for that reason, I think it's fairly likely to think of this eventuality as being a foregone conclusion, and it's probably I think we'll probably see this implemented in at least the next 2 to 5 years.